big fans of Iggy Pop. And three of us in the group at the moment, Kevin Armstrong, myself, and Glenn Matlock, all worked with, as we call him, Jimmy, Iggy Pop. Along the way, I think Kevin recorded an album called Blah, Blah, Blah. Glenn did an album with Iggy called Soldier and co-wrote some of the songs. And I did an album called Zombie Birdhouse that was produced by my partner in Blondie, Chris Stein. So it kind of begins there as far as our relationship with the music. We've all toured with Iggy as well. And the rest of the people, particularly Katie, doing an amazing job, and you know, just doing the music of Iggy. We all enjoy it, and there's a lot of cross-pollination. Katie and I met a few years back at the ICA. I think it was.
I interviewed you and about your book, which still is imminent.
It's imminent.
Still imminent.
One day.
He has amazing stories. And it's incredible to be with this group of legendary musicians because, of course, I grew up listening to Blondie, listening to Iggy's Lust for Life, listening to all these Bowie albums because our band leader, Kevin Armstrong, also played with Tin Machine, played with Bowie, was the musical director for Iggy's band for like 15 years. So it's incredible. Like, for me, it's a dream come true situation.
Yeah, and you are performing, so it's kind of in two halves, isn't it, the show? Can you just talk me through what people can expect when they come along to the show?
Well, we kick off with Lust for Life, so we play it in its entirety. And we're really true sonically to the sound of the album, except for the fact that, oh, guess what? It's not Iggy singing, it's me. And but we keep it really true. Of course, it's going to be a reinterpretation. It's filtered through all of our individual mojos. And then for the second half of the show, we're all touching on everybody's careers. So we're throwing in some other Iggy songs, we're throwing in some Sex Pistols songs, a Blondie song. So it's got a little something for everybody.
Yeah, and obviously you've got Glenn Matlock on board as well, a friend of the show. How did he get involved in the collaboration?
Well, Glenn and I have known each other for quite some time, really back in the early punk rock days. I think I met Glenn right then, and we had talked about collaborating on a group back then with, of all people, Eric Faulkner from the Bay City Rollers and Paul Weller from the Jam at the time.
That would have been amazing.
But it never particularly came to be for certain reasons. And, you know, we all went off and did our own things, and Glenn and I have come together quite a few times since then, working on various, collaborating on various musical projects. And in fact, our bass player in Blondie, my good friend Lee Fox, who had been with us for many, many years, he wasn't able to do the last tour that we did, this arena tour that we did in the UK, actually, we began, and called up Glenn at the last minute, and he came in, and he's the bass player in Blondie now as well. So it's all kind of connected, and it's good to have a good friend involved in something that's fun to do anyway.
And anyway, you guys are sort of de facto flatmates here in London.
We are at the moment,
to me, that sounds like a reality show.
Right, it could be, yeah.
We need to commission that for London Live.
Yeah, we're both massive music fans and massive Iggy Pop, David Bowie, Lou Reed. I mean, it's all that contingent of musicians is really what influenced the both of us and probably everyone involved in the Lust for Life tour.
100%.
So there's a common denominator there, very similar to when I first met my partners in Blondie. We had a common musical ground. We all loved the New York Dolls. We all loved the Velvet Underground. We all loved the Shangri-Las. And at the moment in time, that was not particularly the music of the day. You know, it kind of was very underground, to coin a phrase. Somebody once did that, I think. But yeah, so there's a lot of common ground involved in the musicians and our love of, basically, anyone who is in the music business, I would like to think, is in it for the reason of being a big music lover. It kind of starts there, whether you're, you know, Clive Davis or you're the kid in the garage. They have a common denominator in the love of music. And that's what this tour is really about.
Yeah. And imagine how thrilling it is for me to be standing in front of Clem's drums. I mean, I saw Blondie in 1978 on the Parallel Lines tour, and I was just down in front, just soaking it all in.
Wow.
And to be playing with you now, to have this thundering, like, elephant herd of drums just surging down over the stage and subsuming me and everybody else who's going to be watching. It's so exhilarating.
I can imagine the audiences absolutely love it. You're
Yeah.
heading off on lots of gigs all around the country, and you're
Yeah.
going to be here in London. Where are you heading next? What does the week look like for you?
Well, the first show is actually, the inaugural show is tomorrow in Bristol. And then we're at the 100 Club on Tuesday.
Have you ever been to the 100 Club? I mean, have you played there?
Yeah, I have several times actually.
Yeah, in what configuration?
I had a band called the Tearaways, which actually we've done an album during lockdown that's going to come out soon. And we played there several times, and actually Glenn guested with us.
Because, of course, Sex Pistols would have played the 100 Club
Oh, sure.
back in the day.
And Nick Hayward from Haircut 100 also played with us at that particular show. And,
That is a total When Worlds Collide moment.
yeah, and then also I have a band called the Split Squad, another group of musicians that I collaborate with, and we've played the 100 Club several times.
So great.
And yeah, it's for me, you know, in this day and age, it's all about you know, experimenting, collaborating. There's a lot of different ways to go. You know, people talking about different, for instance, you know, diversification in like your kind of income stream. Not to get that way about it, but you know, there's a lot of different things coming in all different ways. Yeah. So I think everyone kind of multitasks this way nowadays in the modern age.
And we also have 2 more London gigs coming up at the end of the tour.
Right.
So we have 12 dates.
Yeah.
And on the 11th and the 12th of March, we'll be at the Lexington,
right.
in Islington.
And the other 2 musicians, which we haven't particularly mentioned, Louis and
Luis
Flo.
Correa and Florence Sabiva.
Okay,
So-
she's got the surnames down.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
good.
second guitar and keyboards, and they're so experienced. They've also played with Bowie-associated musicians. Florence has played with Heaven 17. So everybody is like, everyone's bringing incredible skills and experience, and then I'm just bringing my, oh my God, I'm living a dumb luck life. Look at me go. I'm having the time of my life, and also the challenge of tackling Iggy's music, which was written, you know, Lust for Life was written in 1977, testosterone-fueled 20-something man. But interestingly, it's an album filled, of course, with raw power, but also with a lot of vulnerability and a lot of, like, him feeling really inadequate. So it's kind of universal themes in a way.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to know Jimmy Osterberg, a.k.a. Iggy Pop, he's a very paradoxical soul, really. He's very intelligent. He's very well-read, and also, you know, he has this on-stage persona, which is probably true of most performers. You know, there's your reality of real life, and then there's your persona as being on stage. And a lot of times those two don't really coalesce. You know, they're 2 different entities, i.e. David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iggy Pop, Jimmy Osterberg. And also, going back to Iggy in general, the first national tour we did with Blondie in 1977, when our first album came out, was in support of Iggy Pop, with David Bowie on keyboards, when the album that prior to Lust for Life, the album called The Idiot, of which we're doing some material from that album as well. So between David and Iggy, Jimmy, they were integral to the beginning of the success of my group Blondie. And funny enough, fast forward to how many years in the future that we are in now, Blondie and Iggy are both playing on the same bill July 1st, which happens to be Debbie Harry's birthday at the Crystal Palace here in London. So it's really interesting how all these things kind of come together in this kind of cumulative way, and here we are. And also, you know, we're interpreting the music. Certain songs we're trying to stay exactly the same. Other ones we've kind of opened up, because the material hints at a lot of different genres of music, but they did it in this kind of bleak, industrial Berlin pre the wall coming down, and that's kind of, you know, that obviously influences both of those albums. And so it's going to be fun. Bottom line is it's fun. It's a bit of work. It's a bit of fun.
And oh my God, amazing musicianship. I mean, incredible players, all of them.
It's good.
It's so thrilling.
There we go, Clem and Katie there, and the band are doing shows in London on Wednesday at the 100 Club and on the 11th and 12th of March at the Lexington. Plenty of chances to get to see them.